Greetings, my fellow mortals. I've got one more album review before I go to bed, and we're going to review the new Angel Massacre album, Worshipped in Vain. Angel Massacre is a black metal band from North Carolina that has been around since 2006. They would release 4 demos and 1 EP from the span of 2007 to 2010. But in some unknown year, they unfortunately broke up. I don't know when. If you look them up on Metal Archives, it has a question mark of when they initially broke up. So my estimated guess was around either 2010 after their last demo, or maybe 2011 or 2012. But they eventually reformed in 2019, and then in 2021, they would release their debut album, Blood of Fallen Angels. This album would be their first official release since the 2010 demo that came out. And then, just last month, they finally released their second album, Worshipped in Vain. This is their first official full-length album since 2021. It came out last month on February 17th on all digital platforms, including Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, iTunes, whatever you use, as well as their Bandcamp. They also released the album on CD format independently. They are not signed to any label, and they are able to just put out like CDs as well. And let me tell y'all, this album is really, really, really fucking good. Unlike the first album, Worshipped in Vain has a lot of melodic elements without it fully being like a 100% melodic black metal album. The small percentage of melodic elements really complements the aggressiveness of this album. And this album is very, very aggressive. Now, this is just your average, aggressive, satanic black metal album. And a lot of bands that do still kind of do it can be a bit generic, but there are a lot of bands that still do it that are pretty good that I listen to, including Angel Massacre. Even on one track, there's a little bit of death metal influence as well, without it also being like a Black Death or blackened death metal album. That little bit of death metal influence is like really spot on. My favorite tracks would have to be On the Black Wings of Satan, Midnight Mass and the Chapel of Disgust, All Churches Shall Burn, Nailed Above the Crowd, that one's really, really good, and the final track, We Have Come for the Throne. Some highlight tracks on the album that I really like are the tracks Until I Am No More and Open the Gates of Hades. My least favorite track on this album would have to be the title track, Worshipped in Vain. It is not a bad track at all. It's just not, like my favorite out of all 10 tracks of this album. And overall, I would rate this album a really solid 9.8 out of 10. That is how good this album is right here. Like, I still prefer like Blood of Fallen Angels, but this one is like a pretty close second, especially since it's their second album. But anyway, that's, the end of it. Feel free to go check out this album on all platforms that you use. Go to their Bandcamp, go to Spotify to listen to it, Apple Music, Tidal, whatever platform you use, and go get a CD if you can. They're pretty cheap. I'll probably get a CD copy of it as well in the future, as well as a CD copy of the first album. But that's about it. Till then, my fellow mortals.